Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I am finally back onto Helen's little cardigan. I have a 20 inch to do for 1 to 2 year old 20 inch and one for a 2 to 3 year old a 22 inch. But I finished my friends. I'll put that down, show you. Finished the 26 inch one. It's good measurement, actually it measures more like 28 inches, you know, which is what you want when you're doing a child's one anyway. You want a couple of extra inches for them to grow into it. So I finally got it finished. My friend messaged me. I knew she couldn't wait. She messaged me on, not yesterday, which was Wednesday, it must have been Tuesday, yes. It was late on Tuesday, I think. She said, do you think, you know, I knew straight away, do you think you're going to have the cardigan ready on Thursday when you come? You'll come pick us up for bingo. So, I had nearly finished it, I didn't tell her that, or I thought I'm going to have her on. Yeah, I said, you know what, Anne? I've run out of wool, I don't think I've got enough to finish it. And I said, is it not wool I buy? I say, is it some wool that one of my subscribers sent to me? So I'm going to have to send away to the place that she got it from and see if I can get her another ball of the same dye. Because I see I've had it a little while, you know, the wool. I see there could be a different dye number on it now, but I see, so I told her, I see I've had a look through all my odd balls of wool and I've got nothing that looks exactly like it, because I see it's a lovely brilliant white, but I see I've been on to them, I've given them the dye number and they're looking, and they said it might be a few days before they can get it to us if they can find the dye number. That's what I see. Well, what am I going to do if you can't get the same ball of wool? So I can be very cheeky at times, you know, but she makes me like that. And I said, well, I'll just find as near as where I can to it, and you know, I says you'll not notice. So anyway, I'm going to give it to her tonight and tell her that, oh, they were very quick in sending the ball, it was the same dye. I'll probably not be able to keep myself from laughing, and then she'll realise, you know, I was having her own, like, because I told her not to keep. At least she didn't harass me all the time this time. I'm going to have a drink of my tea, because I did warn her before I started it. I've told her when I've knitted things for her before, that if I say I have something done by a certain time, it'll be done by that time. Even if I've got to sit up all night. If I get behind and I've got to sit up all night and finish it off, that's what I'll do. Which I've never had to do, so she just can't help herself. She's a good friend, but things like that really annoy me, like. But anyway, I'm doing these, and I had a message of Helen this morning. She did ask me to do, when I did the pink cardigan for Helen, and the 2 navy ones as well. Well, she's just told me that she wants hats with them as well. And it's a good job. When I did the pink one, and I did it out of a pack where I have a lot of balls of that wool, because I have a lot of, I wasn't exactly certain whether I could get it out of 200 gram balls, and I have quite a few balls where there's 2 balls, but just to be sure, I made it out of the bag where I had a lot of balls. I had a couple of 10 packs, I think they were, that I bought, that I'd done the pink one in, because I never realised she wanted hats as well. It's Good job, I've got plenty of this as well for to do the two little boys ones for the two little hats as well. So I've got 3 hats to knit as well as the 2 cardigans that I'm doing for this one for Helen. So if anybody asks me for anything like this and they want a hat as well, make sure they tell me they want a hat. Otherwise, if I use balls of wool that I think there's only just enough wool for the cardigan, there isn't going to be enough wool for a hat. But that's, you know, you have to put up with things like that. And I'm drinking my tea while I remember. I don't want a cold cup of tea. At least I can relax now and just knit normal instead of having to sit and knit my friends all the time, because that's what I've done. I've had to put everything to one side because with it being a 26 inch, it isn't a size that's on my pattern that I'm using here. With this one I'm doing just ordinary round necks like that one. And my pattern only goes up to a 24, so I started writing out the instructions for the larger sizes. There'll be 26, 28, 30 and 32 on the Blackberry. They're all child sizes, but there are some small, you know, women that a 32 would fit. So I'm having to write down the instructions. Well, I did have to write the instructions for that 26 inch one as I was knitting it, so I didn't have it written down, so I took a little bit working out as well as just knitting it, for it was for an order, so I had to make sure I got all the instructions right and then got them right so I could write them down, and then they're there for any other times I have to do one that size. But there'll be a pattern, but not very quick because of the larger sizes. The larger sizes do take longer to knit, and this pattern, where most things you knit are 7.5 rows to the inch, but this pattern here, with you keep going down below the rows and that, there are 10 rows to the inch, so it takes longer to knit. Because like you've seen, you've got those extra rows to do. So that one, the 26 inch one, it seemed to take me forever to get to, when I was doing the back up to the armholes, to get to the armholes, because you measure it before you drop the stitches down, like when I'm on here, when you measure it, because I've done about 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm onto the 4th row after after I've dropped the stitches down for the berry. I'll have another row after this one, and then I'll be dropping them down. So if I measure it where it is now, and then the next row when I drop that berry down, it'll be shorter than it was when I measured it the time before. So you seem to have a lot more work doing these ones than you do the just an ordinary like knitting stocking stitch or any other kind of pattern. So that's the only problem with this one. It does take a lot longer to knit than an ordinary one where you're just getting 7.5 rows to the inch, because that's 10 rows. That's about 1/3 more. So I think that one there, I think there was about 90. I did 15 bubbles of 6 stitches, 6 rows, 15 bubbles. So that's 10, 60, that's 90 rows. It probably would have only been just 60 or 60 something normal knitting. So it does take a lot longer to knit these ones than what it does with the other ones. But anyway, we seem to be having some little bit nicer weather. So probably after today's over, I'll be in and out of my garden again. I'll be able to get things done in my garden. I'm just waiting for the soil drying up a little bit because we've had an awful lot of rain, and I don't want to go digging having to dig anything and it's going to be all clotty, as we Geordies say. And I think I've gotten rid of my cold for good this time. It was sort of lingering on, it sort of came back again, and something I remembered, Mum used to say when we were kids, if you had a cold, which is, I'm thinking to myself, maybe my mother was right, you should never wash your hair when you've got a cold, which I did when I had that cold, and she used to say, if you wash your hair when you've got a cold, you'll make it worse. The old wives' tales, but there could be something in them for all we know, but that made me think of a lot of things, my mother used to say when we were kids and that. You hadn't to sit on a cold concrete ground on the pavement. You get cold that way. And, if we were having thunder, in which we have had lately, like thunder and lightning, if we were having a meal, we had to put our knife and fork down on the table. We couldn't eat our meal until after the thunder and the lightning had passed, because she said you might get electrocuted. So, there's some funny sayings, when we're younger, but yeah, you don't know. I do remember my sister, I think there was lightning one time and it hit her chimney and it came down a chimney, and something to do with a television and a video were connected there somehow, and they must have hit the plug thing anyway, and she had to buy a new television and a new video. It was a video recorder I had at the time. So I suppose if that lightning could have hit your fork while it was in your hand, it could have blew your hand off. There's a lot of old wives' tales that are actually, there's something in them, When you think about something like that, it makes you think about when you were a kid and all the old wives' tales they used to have when, we were kids. I'll have to think of some of them sometime and put them in the videos. But I've got bingo tonight, and I hope we are lucky, because all we've been winning lately is £5 line. That's £2.50 each. Not very much. But it might be our lucky night tonight. But my friend, she goes to a bingo on a Sunday afternoon, her and her husband. It's just down the bottom of the street, more or less, where she lives. And she said they have about 4 games of bingo on a Sunday afternoon, and they have a draw, a key draw they call it. And she wins quite regular at that one. Well, on this Sunday, I think it was last Sunday, or it was the Sunday before, that was one Sunday, I'm not sure which Sunday, which she was telling me. No, it wasn't Sunday gone, it was the Sunday before that. That was it, because she told me at the bingo she had won, there was 4 houses, they played 4 games, she won 3 of them, and her husband won the 4th one, and then her husband won the key draw. And she said to me, she sent me a message the next Sunday, and she was telling me, I had never had no luck this Sunday, we never won anything. And I messaged her back and I said, good job, I see you might have been lynched if you had. Because she's always winning, Give somebody else a chance to win, Anne. But anyway, that's my bit for today. And I'm on to a drop down row. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.